The first use case you think about blockchain is payments, right? So that's the first thing you want to do, is show that you can secure a payment mechanism just like Visa, MasterCard, but much more secure, without middlemen, take away the fees, offers economies of scale. So the more people use it, the cheaper it gets. The way we view the future of value in the long term, 3 to 5 to 10 years, we view layer 1 blockchains will essentially become like the new republics. These will be the new mechanisms where all the value is going to proliferate to. The future, there'll be the layer 1 blockchain, there will be the mining market, there'll be the dApps, and there'll be tokens. So the lower you get in the stack, the lower risk you have, but the lower rewards. The highest risk reward will be on the layer 1 blockchain, because that's where all the value will flow up. But it's highest value, highest risk. We view layer 1 blockchains, which is Bitcoin, Syscoin, Ethereum, as court systems. They need to be combative to the external forces that we don't control, even in the software world. In the real world, like inflation, hyperinflation, wars, these systems need to be secure from that. And this is why we view Bitcoin as the gold standard for security and decentralization. What else does the world need? What else does the world cherish when you have something like Bitcoin? How can we extend that to something else where we can take advantage to build real world utility? This is where Ethereum comes in. For me, Ethereum is a gold standard for flexibility or general computation. We're trying to stick to the gold standards we know the world's going to cherish and develop on, and we put those two concepts together. And this is what Syscoin is.
Ladies and gentlemen, guess who's back from the YouTube gulags?
That Hotep Jesus dude. That Hotep, 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 that Hotep Jesus dude.
Oh, we back, baby. We back. Hold on, let me fix my my sponsor logo here. I had a low quality version up here. I'm sorry, I'm rusty. I've been in the Twitter gulags for a week. Please forgive me as I get readjusted. I was in a zone last week, man, and I wasn't the guy who was always on YouTube and always YouTubing. I didn't feel like a YouTuber, but I've been in a zone lately, and then YouTube whacked me. They whacked my channel with the strike, but we back. For anybody that didn't know what happened, I was whacked with a strike and suspended for 7 days because I played the Jerome Davison campaign ad, which had a semi-automatic rifle, some KKK hoods in there, and that's basically what happened. I guess they said I was promoting violent behavior or something of the sort. I don't know. Anyway, I'm back. Thank you everyone for being patient. If it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button. Also, I need everybody watching the stream to follow me on Rumble. This is what we're doing. We're going to the alternate economy, alt economy, parallel economy. You need to go to Rumble, rumble.com/user/Hotep Jesus. Subscribe to my channel over there. I'm actually going to be providing uncensored content on Rumble. You're going to see Hotep Jesus like you've never seen him before. So we're going to have a lot of fun over there on Rumble. So make sure you follow me over there for uncensored content. Some content that is there will not exist on YouTube. And so make sure you go and subscribe there. Also, get on my email list, hotepjesus.com/sub, S-U-B, hotepjesus.com/sub. Get on my email list to keep up with me, just in case they zap me anywhere on the internet. You can still always find me. We'll always be in contact with each other. That's hotepjesus.com. Shout out to my sponsors, Syscoin, best of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Wonderful, wonderful piece of technology over there. If you're looking to build on the blockchain, Syscoin will support you in your development. Go to hotepjesus.com. Hit the Syscoin button. You'll see the logo right there on your screen. Hit the Syscoin logo to take you to the form. Fill out the form. Somebody will get back to you shortly. That being said, let's dive into today's presentation. I guess I'm on the screen. Let's just talk about PayPal. You might as well just hop right into it since that's what's on my screen. Yeah, Hotep's out of the gulags, baby. I'm back. Let's see what the algo does, how the algo treats me with my recent absence. So I think it was a week ago, a couple of weeks ago, basically PayPal basically said, well, some documents got leaked. I guess their TOS got leaked. Thank you for the super chat. We get to the super chat to the end. I appreciate you. Also, this is a call-in show. You'll be able to call in and talk about these topics with me. Stay tuned for that phone number, and I will open up phone lines shortly. As you know, all of my presentations from now on will be call-in shows for the most part. So a few weeks ago, PayPal basically said, hey, we're going to charge you $2,500 for misinformation. And then they retracted this statement and said, oh, that was incorrect. That wasn't supposed to leak or something of that effect. Right. And then today I woke up to memes about the $2,500 fine. Now, again, I have to take you guys to this article I wrote. It's under the culture tab here at menoforder.com. And I wrote 11 dystopian parallels between the Demolition Man and reality. And you guys got to check that out. But if you remember from that movie Demolition Man, speech was censored. You got fined, right? And what they called it was a verbal morality statute. And if you saw in the movie, well, if you cursed, this machine would pop out a citation of sorts that would charge you for using profane language. As you know, in the UK, a man was arrested because he posted a meme mocking the transgender flag. So this is where we're headed right now. So if you say something that the technocrat communists don't like, well, guess what? Could have your PayPal account zapped, which means greater alt economy potentials. Crypto is probably going to be more popular. I would love to see somebody create a payment processor using Syscoin in a similar fashion to PayPal, something that is compatible with WordPress, something that people can maybe get a plug-in to the Shopify stores, et cetera, et cetera. Speaking of Spotify, all of my conversations and interviews are on Spotify. So yeah, I would definitely like to see that. Syscoin has great infrastructure. Has the security of Bitcoin and the flexibility of Ethereum. So you get the best of both worlds over there. They've been in business for a really long time now, and I think they've weathered 2 bear markets, so they're not going anywhere. At least that's my guess. They look like they have staying power. So, what's going to happen? What exactly is going to happen with the alt economy, the parallel economy, the parallel world? And I've been saying this for a while. I've been saying that our society is going to become bifurcated. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about Elon. We're going to talk about Disney's body dysmorphia heroine as well. And we're going to talk about Ye and his ban, et cetera, et cetera. What's funny about Elon and PayPal trending at the same time is that Elon is PayPal mafia. I'm not sure if you guys know this. Many of you do. I'm sure many of you do. He was one of the founding members of PayPal. In fact, that's how he made his riches. Although his dad, I believe, was quite wealthy. That's what really propelled Elon to the top of the VC sphere. And then he moved that into Tesla, SpaceX, I believe. But PayPal was his claim to fame at the time. And I find it ironic that they're both trending on the same day, because when I think of PayPal, I think of Elon. So let's take a look here. And basically what it's saying is disclose.tv says PayPal has reinstated its $2,500 fine for misinformation. And we have a screenshot here. It says, If you are a seller and receive funds for transactions that violate the acceptable use policy, then in addition to being subject to the above actions, you will be liable to PayPal for the amount of PayPal's damages caused by your violation of the acceptable use policy. You acknowledge and agree that $2,500 per violation of the acceptable use policy is presently a reasonable minimum estimate of PayPal's actual damages. So here, this is PayPal's user agreement, and it says here, restricted activities, holds, and liquidated damages. And the one that everyone's, I'm sure, up in arms is, it says provide false, inaccurate, or misleading information. I have to call this down the middle. You know me, this is a very objective channel. Yeah, with Peter Thiel, yeah. This is a very objective, I'm an objective person. So we have to be careful when, when you have a big platform, and I have a fairly decent sized platform, we have a responsibility to call it straight. I don't want to be like mainstream media who doesn't mind giving you fake information, fake news, just for clicks, just for clout, just for popularity, just for the agenda. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to call this straight based upon how I see it. And if I'm wrong, correct me. So it says here, provide false, inaccurate, or misleading information. Now, right when I read this, I'm thinking to myself, provide who with false information? It doesn't say, hey, provides PayPal with false information, third party with false information, because this is about transactions here. So, what if I say to you, hey, I'm selling red pills, and I'm going to sell you a red pill, and the red pill is going to make you smarter, right? And that's just inaccurate, right? It's not going to make you smarter. Like, there's nothing in the world that's going to make you smarter other than studying, right? No pill is going to make you smarter. You have to actually sit down and study and become self-conscious to become smarter. So no, and have a lot of confidence in yourself. Confidence and intelligence go hand in hand. Because without confidence, your brain won't even learn at its highest capability. Placebo, right? So, and it says inaccurate, misleading information. So who, and so it's so vague that I'm like, it really just opens the door to a lot for PayPal, which I think is more dangerous than people may be alluding to. So some people are going to say, hey, this is about, if I go online and I say something anti-vax, PayPal's going to dock my account. You might be right. You might be wrong. Maybe PayPal's just saying, if you provide us or a third party seller or buyer with false, misleading, inaccurate information. Or maybe, just maybe, they're saying, if you go on social media and you say something wrong and go against the agenda, we're going to take $2,500 out of your account. Maybe. This language is so vague, I can't draw a conclusion on it. It's just too vague, which makes it more dangerous. You see, when it's specific, it's not as dangerous as it's vague, because they can walk into court and, now we got to argue that. Like, which way are we going? Hodge Twin said PayPal added the $2,500 misinformation back into their terms after they said it was a mistake a couple of weeks ago. Let's do a look back. Let's go back and look at PayPal misinformation fine, but let's look at something older. 2 weeks ago. Okay, this works. Let's see what the verbiage said 2 weeks ago to really call this straight. What is this? Reuters, I gotta pay for this too? You have reached your free article limit. Yo, Biden's economy is the worst. You guys don't know how to monetize your website without charging people? It's so weird. Okay. Ooh. So the policy was expected to go in effect November 3rd. Is this the actual one? Let me see. All right, the verbiage isn't here. So private company, I guess, it decided to take. If you say something they disagree with, PayPal is not. What they're saying, an AUP notice recently went out in error that included incorrect information. A PayPal spokesperson told Axios on Sunday, PayPal is not fining people for misinformation, and this language is never intended to be inserted into our policy. Our teams are working to correct our policy pages. We're sorry for the confusion this has caused. So that's what they said. They said that last week, and that's where we are now. Like when I look at this verbiage, like I said, is very vague. Okay, so here, a new PayPal AUP, acceptable use policy, expanded the company's list of products to include the sending, posting, or publication of any messages, content, or materials that promote misinformation or present risk to user safety or well-being. This is Mediaite reported this. Okay, so here's the act. This is what I like to see. You know, I hate when people like go based upon headlines and tweets. Like, let's look at the actual contract and what does it say? Involve the sending, posting, or publication of any message, content, or materials that, in PayPal's sole discretion, are harmful, obscene, harassing, objectionable, depict or appear to depict nudity, sexual or other intimate activities. Again, this verbiage still to me, if I'm interpreting this, and I'm no attorney, this to me says anything to do with a transaction. There's no verbiage here that says if you do this elsewhere, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Meta, the metaverse, Mars. It doesn't say that here, which is bad for legal. It has to specify and say, hey, sending or posting any publication of message pertaining to a transaction using PayPal services, and then A, B through Z, right? So here it says present a risk to user safety or well-being, are fraudulent, promote misinformation. And that's the thing that everybody's underlining, promote information, unlawful, infringe the privacy, intellectual property rights, da, 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 da. So again, even 2 weeks ago when I'm looking at this information, or a week ago, whenever this was, somebody said it was written by lawyers. It was left vague on purpose. Yeah, probably. I would not doubt that. So, all right. So that's what the verbiage said. Like I said, I always want to look at the actual language, right? And not the whatchamacallit. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Hold this message from our sponsor.
The first use case you think about blockchain is payments, right? So that's the first thing you want to do, is show that you can secure a payment mechanism just like Visa, MasterCard, but much more secure, without middlemen, take away the fees, offers economies of scale. So the more people use it, the cheaper it gets. The way we view the future of value in the long term, 3 to 5 to 10 years, we view layer 1 blockchains will essentially become like the new republics. These will be the new mechanisms where all the value is going to proliferate to the future. There'll be the layer 1 blockchain, there will be the mining market, there'll be the dApps, and there'll be tokens. So
my bad. I'm back. I apologize for the delay. Just want to turn off the air conditioning so we don't get too much feedback noise. So yeah, as far as the whole PayPal thing is going, Hotep Jesus can't draw a conclusion. All I can say is, as vague as it is, it's still dangerous. So, you know me, this whole thing with social media and people are saying, hey, you know, fine for misleading information and everybody pushing it. I think it's great for awareness. I just wish people would be specific and say, hey, this verbiage is too vague, which makes it dangerous. You know, Tim Pool said PayPal straight up lied. I don't know if they lied. I think that maybe the verbiage was tightened up. And this new verbiage does sound better. This new verbiage does look better. Let's see if we can look at something today. Okay, so what's his website? Latestly. All right, so latestly, what are they saying? Okay, so latestly basically doesn't exact. All right, so let's get off of that. Watcher Guru, what are they saying? So there's no, again, no legal language here. Is this it? URL does not exist. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the actual legal language. I don't want to see tweets and stuff like that. We can't draw conclusions from that stuff. So if somebody can give me a link to the actual language, that would be absolutely amazing. Past 24 hours. Yeah. Okay, who's this? Restricted activities hold and liquidate and aside from that. Okay, the user agreement is okay, so here it is right here. This is the user agreement as of September 19th, though. This isn't the new one, I believe. Yeah, this isn't the new one. This is old, and this one doesn't even include the misinformation clause. Let's see. Yeah, this doesn't include the misinformation clause. Aside from the fact that the clause is a fool's errand because there's literally no way for the company to legitimately determine what is or isn't misinformation, and offensive is subjective, there is no legal basis for a clause like this anyway. PayPal has no legal right to dictate activity that happens outside of its platform, especially when that activity has zero impact on PayPal. And it says, yet this is another case of big tech overreach. Now, this statement here, to me, is a bit hyperbolic. Big tech overreach. I think the real way to report this specifically is to say this is potentially another case of big tech overreach. You know, I'm very particular about language and using specific language instead of vague language, because this is vague language and PayPal's using vague language. So now we have vague language versus vague language, which takes us nowhere, right? And it says right here, happens outside of its own platform. But that's not what the legal says. That's not what even these screenshots don't even say that. Let's see here. See right here. Okay, so even this screenshot, can you guys see that? Cool. Even this screenshot, I don't know if this is the old one or new one, but it says if you are a seller and receive funds for transactions that violate acceptable use policies. So this specifically says transactions. Then in addition to being subject to the above actions, you'll be liable to PayPal for the amount of the damages, right? So this actually specifically says for transactions. And again here, you know, the promotion of hate, you know, blah, 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 blah. You may not use PayPal service for activities that, so it says PayPal service for activities. So this could be like, you know, anything, you know, what if they're like doing human trafficking like this is, or you know, you are selling Nazi flags, right? They're basically saying we're not going to allow you to have any transactions with Nazi flags or human trafficking, body parts and stuff like that, and nothing of financial exploitation crimes. So I'm calling it straight, y'all. I can't dive into the whole, you know, partisan, hey, you know, PayPal's taking away free speech, when technically it does not say that. This legal language says you may not use the PayPal service for activities, and that's dealing with PayPal transactions. And according to this, I believe PayPal is definitely within their right. And if you're an attorney and I'm wrong, correct me, tell me and educate me and tell me where I'm wrong, right? But it specifically is dealing with that. All right, let's go on to the next story. Let's talk about Elon. Message from Elon. So, and I got some funny stuff to show y'all today in regards to Ye and then we'll open up the lines for calling. How long have I been live? 24 minutes already? Wow. All right, so let's run through this. I wanted to reach out personally to share my motivation in acquiring Twitter. Yesterday, you guys saw a photo of him basically walking into Twitter, and a lot of people made Twitter jokes, let that sink in and everything but the kitchen sink. So he continues, he says, there has been much speculation about why I bought Twitter and what I think about advertising. Most of it has been wrong. The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important to the future of civilization to have a common digital town square where a wide range of beliefs can be debated in a healthy manner without resorting to violence. There is a current great danger that social media will splinter to far right-wing and far left-wing echo chambers that generate more hate and divide our society. Yes, this is exactly where we're going. Hence why I've had to create an account on Rumble. Follow me on Rumble. Type in Hotep Jesus on Rumble and subscribe to my channel. In the relentless pursuit of clicks, much of traditional media has fueled and catered to those polarized extremes as they believe that is what brings in the money. But in doing so, the opportunity for dialogue is lost. Yes, that's a huge problem, man. The opportunity for dialogue. I mean, the villainization of Donald Trump has destroyed the ability for people to have dialogue across the political divide. People just don't want to talk. They don't want to listen to you. I was in a Twitter space last night with a black woman, and we were talking about Ye, and she was like, Ye's, doing hateful things against the black community. I was like what? She was like, well, he was working with Donald Trump. And I'm like, how does him working with Donald Trump equate to him not liking black people? Like, what? And I'm like, this is the problem with people. Like, this is the mental slavery that we have happening right now, where you can't even talk to the president of the United States of America. And then I was like, all right, what about Ice Cube? Well, Ice Cube, too, he was used as a pawn by Donald Trump. And I'm like, Ice Cube was a pawn for Donald Trump? Like, Ice Cube went up there trying to get reparations. What are you talking about? So this is just like the opportunity for dialogue has been destroyed by the villainization of Trump, even if it was even possible previously. There's this whole culture of you can't talk about politics at the dinner table. I don't know who installed that. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. You can't talk. If you can't talk about politics at the dinner table, where can you talk about it? And if you can't talk about it because somebody's going to get upset, that speaks to the intellectual maturity of human beings in this country. If you and your mom can't talk about politics without somebody hating the other at the end of the conversation, both of y'all don't even deserve to participate in politics. You should just both of you should just sit out, because you're not willing to have a conversation with just intellectual authority. It's all about emotion, and it's just absolutely disgusting. But I'm hoping here, he says he wants to open this up like a digital town square. I'm hoping we take it back to 2012 Twitter, where you can say anything and everything damn near. Outside of trying to, human trafficking, child exploitation and stuff like that. That stuff shouldn't exist. This is why I bought Twitter. I didn't do it because it would be easy. I didn't do it to make more money. And now here's something I said before. I said Elon buying Twitter is not a financial move. It's not a financial move, because buying Twitter, especially at the valuation they originally proposed, and even at the 54 million billion, whatever it is, I don't know. I don't know. Twitter is more of a power play than anything. To control the place where dialogue is had is more powerful than the money it'll make you. So, and I always said that about Twitter. I'm like, it doesn't matter if Twitter is profitable or not. The fact that whoever owns Twitter controls the place where information is circulated. Like, think about this. If you would have said that, and you can say this now according to YouTube's policy, if they give me a strike for this, then fuck it. If you would have said that the vaccine does not prevent the transmission of COVID-19, you would have got struck down. YouTube would have struck you down, and Twitter would have struck you down. Now it's being come out, and it's a known fact that it doesn't. But what about retroactively reimbursing people for the money they lost, for the time they lost? All those influencers who lost their channel should be compensated. All the people who lost their social media or Twitter account should be compensated. People should be filing lawsuits left and right. I want to file a lawsuit because my speech was hindered based upon misinformation. Like they were saying, they used misinformation to categorize information as misinformation. But everybody knew this from the very beginning. But if you said it, well, guess what? They would have banned you. So that, controlling that conversation in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, is way more valuable than the valuation of Twitter, than making money off of Twitter. Controlling the worldwide conversation around this bug? Are you serious? And telling people what they can and cannot say? Saying you can't challenge the science? If you can't challenge the science, then it ain't science. Science is meant to be scrutinized. Let's continue. Elon said, I did it to try to help humanity, whom I love. And I do so with humility, recognizing that failure in pursuing this goal, despite our best efforts, is a very real possibility. That said, Twitter obviously cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything can be said with no consequences. In addition to adhering to the laws of the land, our platform must be warm and welcoming to all, where you can choose your desired experience according to your preferences, just as you can choose, for example, to see movies or play video games ranging from all ages to mature. I also, and that's another thing, he said mature. I'm all about the free speech. I'm not. I really feel like pornographic material needs to be gated better on Twitter. It's too easy to just run into pornographic material, especially when we have children potentially using this platform. Like, I don't know what I'm not, I don't study that stuff, as far as tech censorship is concerned, but there has to be some way to censor that material. Instagram doesn't allow it at all. So the fact that Twitter does is it's kind of weird. Anyway, I also very much believe that advertising, when done right, can delight, entertain, and inform you. It can show you a service or product or medical treatment that you never knew existed, but is right for you. For this to be true, it is essential to show Twitter users advertising that is relevant as possible to their needs. Low relevancy ads are spam, but highly relevant ads are actually content. And that's true. And I think when you're going to make an ad, try to make ad that's content, and it'll probably do a lot better. You get more for your money. Fundamentally, Twitter aspires to be the most respected advertising platform in the world that strengthens your brand and grows your enterprise. To everyone who has partnered with us, I thank you. Let us build something extraordinary together. So here's my other thing when it comes to Elon and the purchase of Twitter. What's going to happen to the alt economy? I mean, Minds, Gab, these places have built their, well, not Gab. Gab's basically building the entire internet infrastructure all over from scratch, from PayPal to Twitter to YouTube. So I think Gab is in a very different direction. And I think Gab, because Andrew Torba has been banned from so much, that he's kind of forced to do that. But, other platforms have modeled themselves as being a Twitter alternative. But now with Elon purchasing Twitter and making Twitter a free speech platform or something of the sort, what's going to happen to these alt places? That's a huge piece of competition now. Your value prop has been destroyed. Your unique value proposition has been completely obliterated. Hold on, this Syscoin logo needs to move over a little bit. I'm sorry. It's been obliterated, completely destroyed. And let me lock it. Completely destroyed, man. It's. So I hope, I hope they get creative over there. And I had a young kid come to me with a social media idea. I'm not giving it up because I don't want to see him lose his IP, but he needs to work with a big company, and he's got a great idea for a new social network that is just badass. And I haven't told anybody about it. It's in the App Store. I haven't told anybody about it. The app's kind of janky, obviously, because he doesn't have the funding to have the infrastructure. So there's a lot of bugs, which is why I want to see him partner with somebody. So if you got some big bucks and you want to buy a social media network, a network with a really amazing idea, holla at me. We'll get an NDA over. Not that it means anything. But you'll probably have to, we got to take at least $30,000 up front just to secure the idea, just to say, all right, this is in good faith that I trust that, you know, if I steal your idea, at least we've been compensated. This is how much I believe in this idea. And with the right infrastructure, this app can be like really, really dope. And it's a simple idea. And this is the one thing that social media companies go wrong with. They start gold plating. It's like, oh, we got this feature and that feature and this feature and that feature. And it's just like, yo, from day one, you kind of got to just do one thing really good. And that's how Facebook was built. It was basically the first Tinder, but for the, I think it was Harvard campus. And then it branched out into other universities. Shout out to my super chatters. Let me get to you in a second. We're going to open up the call-in lines, let y'all call in. Let's go into the Ye thing. So everybody knows about the Ye Adidas thing, and he was canceled by this and by that. So I went to Project Rook's page today, and she had some interesting tweets that she posted. So I want to show you guys these. So this one says, and this looks like Black Twitter. They doing Kanye worse than known pedophiles in the acting and music industry. Bars. What's the next one? Again, all this smoke for Kanye, but still no word on Epstein's client list. Okay. How about that? How about that? Did they close Ghislaine Maxwell's accounts? And wokeness said if Kanye said white people instead of the J people, he would have his own show on MSNBC now. Hey, yo. This one is great. This is the best one I've seen so far. And, you know, like, I'm not saying that his comments about Jewish people are cool, because they're not, and they're inaccurate. You know me, I'm all about using specific language, and he's just using very vague language when he talks about them. And I study history, so I know the history of Jewish people. I know the history of anti-Semitism very, very well. But however, he's right. If Kanye would have said white people, oh my God, he's right. Like, Adidas would have gave him more equity, and you know, he would have. Today, Apple removed the Kanye West Essentials playlist. So there's a playlist, and playlists are a big part of monetizing your music. If anybody's an artist, they know that, you know, there's actually services out there that if you're an artist, you pay them and then they put your music on popular playlists. So it makes it more discoverable. And they destroyed or removed the Kanye Essentials playlist. Maybe that, I don't know if that was an Apple move, or because individuals can make playlists too, and individuals can make playlists that become very lucrative. In fact, that's a huge, like, if you guys want to make money and you're good with music, if you can make a playlist or playlists and make them popular, people will pay you to get on them because you have the ability to get them discovered. Just a little side nugget there. But he's right. If Kanye would have said, if he would have swapped out white people, oh man, he's right. He would have had his own show on MSNBC. Let's go to the next one here. It says right here, people are more outraged about Ye than the government lying to the entire planet about those shots. Bars. And people say Black Twitter's not based. Black Twitter's definitely based. Sometimes you guys are just basing it based upon blue check Black Twitter and liberal funded Black Twitter. But the streets know what's up, man. The streets aren't blue pilled as some people might think. Where is that? Let's pull this up. Let's pull up. Let me see if I can find this and play this for you. Let's go. I know I tweeted it out yesterday or the day. Wait, where? Oh, here it is. Okay, I was about to say. Right here, I put this tweet out. It says when you ask Pfizer for a copy of their vax contracts, and you see this is like completely redacted. And this is from. Let me see if I can find this. What is this from? Here it is. Let's play this for you.
Emma. A year ago, I requested Emma to submit some details and data to me because I wanted to have an informed decision, I would say, when I voted in favor or against the green certificate. And one of the questions that I asked Emma is to send me all the trials, the tests, the clinical trials that all these medical companies had done, either in animals or in humans, before they requested the marketing authorization. So in the case of Pfizer, here's something interesting. Common. When they submitted the information and the clinical trials to Pfizer, here's all the tests that they submitted along with the request. They submitted a clinical trial that started in January 14th, 2020. I asked yesterday the representative of Pfizer and she declined to answer. How is it possible that we, the world, found out in December of 2019 that there is a COVID, or coronavirus as it's called, in China, December of 2019. On January the 11th, the Chinese government released the DNA data, or a segment of it, to the public, and 3 days later, Pfizer already started the tests for this vaccine. How is that possible?
How is that possible?
She did not answer. In the case of Moderna, and I've asked the CEO of Moderna 2-3 weeks ago when he was here, they submitted trials since 2017. So I'm restating the question, how is it possible that when we found out in the fall of December, winter of 2019 about this virus, they submitted tests of their vaccines years before we found out about the virus. And I'm still asking that question now. How is that possible? So these are the legit questions that we all asked, and then people are asking us. And unfortunately, they are declining to answer.
Okay, so that's one clip, right? Hold on. I got to give y'all another one. Shout out to the homie Chad. He sent me this video from Dr. John Campbell. And I'm going to, if you guys aren't subscribed to Dr. John Campbell, you might want to do that right now. I think he's a very brilliant man who's been as objective as possible based upon his own understanding of medicine. So let me go ahead and pull this up on the screen. Chad sent this to me the other day. This is how I found this. I love my team. My team always looks out and provides information. Like I said, Hotep Jesus is like 30 million people. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Be on your screen in just a moment. All right, so I'll show you this. So this is Dr. John Campbell. Some of you may have seen his face before, but we're going to jump to the 10-minute and 10:30. Let's play this clip right here. No, wait, this isn't. Oh no, this is the COVID-19 YouTube guidelines. So let's look at let's play this.
YouTube. So I can't put content that promotes methods that contradict local health authorities or WHO. So I don't think we're doing that. Now, YouTube fairly comment this, claims that there's a guaranteed prevention method for COVID-19. Let's be quite clear, there is no guaranteed prevention method for COVID-19. The YouTube guidelines are completely correct. And they also say that claims that any medication or vaccine is a guaranteed prevention method for COVID-19.
You see that right there? Claims that any medication or vaccination is a guaranteed prevention method for COVID-19. This is YouTube's new guidelines. So you're now allowed on YouTube to say this. Now you're allowed to say it. We had to use coded language for 2 years, maybe more. Yeah, here we are. Let me try to find the other timestamp. Hold on a second.
And you will not spread the virus. They even ran campaign and said, get vaccinated in order to keep your grandmother and your pet.
Oh, here we go.
Because what we found out yesterday, when one of my colleagues asked if they tested, in this case Pfizer, if Pfizer tested, if their medical product is stopping the spread of the virus, we were shocked to find out yesterday that they haven't tested their vaccine to see if it's stopping the spread of the virus.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all? Let me replay that just in case you missed it. Maybe you were making a cup of coffee, you know, somebody at work was talking to you. Let's play that back.
What they were marketed for. Because what we found out yesterday, when one of my colleagues asked if they tested, in this case Pfizer, if Pfizer tested, if their medical product is stopping the spread of the virus, we were shocked to find out yesterday that they haven't tested their vaccine to see if it's stopping the spread of the virus. So we are now more than a year after the green certificate, the digital green certificate was imposed in the European Union, and people were forced to be vaccinated with the medical product in order to exercise their basic fundamental rights.
All right, so let's go to this other clip now, right here. Watch this.
And the first question is, what?
So just so y'all know, he basically said that they didn't test to see if this thing prevents transmission. But Fauci Ouchie and the rest of them was like, yo, you better not say it doesn't do that.
Exactly in these contracts. What are they hiding exactly? I mean, in the previous press conferences, I showed you some of the pages, you know, from these contracts. This is how they were disclosed to us and to the public and to the press. Obviously, after some of us and some of the brave journalists asked, what are the contracts signed between the European Commission and these pharmaceutical companies? So this is how they disclose the contracts. Over 100 pages. Every contract with Pfizer, with Moderna, tens of pages of those contracts were blacked out. So yesterday when we asked, I was the one asking, and some of my colleagues asked, when are they going to fully release these contracts? The representative of Pfizer, who was sent to replace the CEO of Pfizer, said that they can't fully disclose these contracts because they have some commercial secrets over there.
Commercial secrets.
And they have to protect their interests. Now I'm asking you, what about the interests of our people? What about the interests of the Europeans whose money was spent, or wasted, I would say now, to buy these medical products that are not providing what they were marketed for? Because what we found out yesterday, when one of my colleagues asked if they tested, in this case Pfizer, if Pfizer tested, if their medical product is stopping the spread of the virus, we were shocked to find out yesterday that they haven't tested their vaccine.
So just so you guys have the information here, this is Pfizer blanked out pages. This is 1 million views. This is published October 21st, 2022. And this is MEP Christian Terhes. And this is a press conference. And this is, I think, Yeah, right here. He represents Romania. That's his name right here. You see him? He represents Romania. So if you go to the channel here, like I said, this is Dr. John Campbell. He's got 2.5 million followers, subscribers on YouTube. Go to his channel. You'll see the video right there. You guys can watch that at your own leisure. One more thing I want to put across your table is how you have to be careful, because even your influencers, your favorite influencers, are impressionable. And they too can be duped. And the right was complicit in pushing this inoculation on people. The right too was also complicit in pushing this inoculation on the people. Here we have Ken Thoreau. We have, okay, so there's this tweet here from Ben Shapiro, and he says Pfizer has now admitted that they did not test whether the COVID vaccines prevented transmission before releasing them. That didn't stop them from making false claims about stopping transmission. Apparently, the Biden administration knew this and promoted mandates. That's hideous. This is Ben Shapiro, and he's got a 8-minute and 50-second video talking about this. Ken Thoreau pulls up a tweet from Ben Shapiro from December 8th, 2020, says, in other words, get the vaccine, dopes. They were shaming you into going to get the inoculation. Yet now they want to report. So maybe Ben was fooled, right? Maybe Ben, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they lied to us and Ben thought he was doing the right thing. However, he was wrong. Majorly wrong. You know who wasn't wrong?
Hotep.
We weren't wrong. We were on top of this way before the pandemic. We were on top of this during the pandemic, before the pandemic, after the pandemic. We know. Said, yo, don't get that shit. Y'all better not get that shit. And why? Not because we're clairvoyant or anything like that. Because we study history. We study history. And I've placed this on your desk before, and I'll show it to you one more time, and then we'll open up call lines. Here it is right here. Look at this. Look at this article. This is on history.com. And this is when the U.S. government tried to fast track a flu vaccine. More than a quarter of the nation was inoculated, and in 1976 for a pandemic that never materialized. This is on history.com. If we go down, you'll see here CDC Director David Sensor recommended an unprecedented plan, a mass vaccination of U.S. citizens. Right? This is 1976. Right? So again, Hoteps, we just study history, right? If history repeats, it don't rhyme or some shit like that, right? So what happened? What was the result of all of this? Hold on, I'll find it. You see it's highlighted here. Public confidence waned. Public confidence in the vaccine waned. So then right here, you'll see right here. Meanwhile, not only had a pandemic yet to appear, but no swine flu cases outside of Fort Dix cluster had been reported. Even if there was no connection between the vaccine and Guillain-Barré syndrome, the risk was no longer acceptable. So right here it says, public confidence was further shaken when dozens of vaccine recipients were diagnosed with Guillain-Barré disease. So this is a side effect, a rare neurological disorder causing muscle weakness, tingling in the extremities, and paralysis. So we're dealing with neurological disorders. This is a neurological disorder. And this is what people have been talking about for a really long time, for over 20 years, maybe longer, that these inoculations have the potential to cause neurological disorders. And that's what you're seeing. You see the other day, you saw Katy Perry, her eye was doing blinky, blinky things. We saw Justin Bieber, eye was doing blinky, blinky things. People were getting that, what's that, Bell's palsy. People were getting hit with Bell's palsy. Go look at my video with Dr. Tanai Ricks on this channel. We've Just type in Dr. Tanai Ricks Hotep Jesus. It's Tanei Ricks RICKS, and watch all of our videos. We've been reporting this all along, telling you what was going to happen. But even your best influencers are going to be wrong in a major way. Now Ken Thoreau is calling for an apology from Ben. Maybe Ben has apologized and we haven't seen it. We don't know. I don't keep up with Ben. I don't really want an apology because I don't need one. I knew better, but maybe he should apologize to his subscribers and his friends and say, yo, I was wrong. And I'm sad that I was wrong. Scott Adams is another one. I love Scott Adams. Really great guy, really intelligent guy. Scott Adams was heavily pushing the vaccine campaign, heavily, and shaming people for not, right? And there was a lot of pushback, and he was like, no, this is the right thing to do, I'm not saying Hoteps are the only ones you can trust, but
Hotep.
Let's go to the last story, and then we're going to open up phone lines. Disney has a new character, and I'm going to repeat myself on this, as I often do in regards to this subject. They have a new heroine, female hero. Fans praise Disney's first ever plus-sized heroine in new film. Here you can see. So no fat shaming, no fat phobia, right? Bruce Fenton, shout out to Bruce. He said, Disney glorifies being fat and unhealthy because it's trendy. People would rather be accepted for being fat and unhealthy than recognize it as a serious health issue that is likely to kill them early. We were healthier when fat was unfashionable. If you're a conspiracy theorist and you believe in a population control, you already know where that's heading. I'm no conspiracy theorist, though. But again, I'm going to put this on your screen so you guys can go watch this film. I don't know where you can find it. Hold on, let me see if I can put it on your screen. You got to watch this film. Yeah, here it is. Whoops. And maybe it's even in the description. But you see here this film. It's called Branded. 2020 film. And also known as The Mad Cow and Moscow 2017. It's a 2012 Russian-American dark fantasy science fiction film written, produced by Jamie. Okay. So it's about a marketing guru, Joseph Pascal, meets a fast food company executive to discuss a plan to make the industry profitable again. And what does he propose? It's really cool when you watch the movie because they like all in this like Illuminati room and they're around a round table and he walks in like he's the Wizard of Oz and he's like, you guys have been advertising this fast food all wrong. You know what you got to do? And he says they plan to change public perceptions of beauty and make fat the new fabulous. You see that? This is a 2012 film. Exactly 10 years later, a decade later, this is our reality. This is our reality. If you guys haven't seen this film, it's kind of like, it's very weird. Obviously being a science fiction film, a fantasy science fiction film, very, very weird film. But that's the plot. That's the plot. Make fat the new fabulous. Right? So here you have Disney. Oops, I just closed that out by accident. Here you have Disney doing exactly that. Disney doing exactly that. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. We'll open up the phone lines for about 30 minutes here, and then I'm gonna head out. If you guys want to help me out, you guys can do timestamps for this video of the subject matter. Calling number is 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631. Please try to stay on topic. Let's talk about PayPal, Elon, Yay, Disney. These are the things you want to talk about. I don't want you to come on here and talking about, your grandma's tuba lessons or anything like that. Let's try to stay on topic and talk about what we're talking about here. That number is 202-596-5631. You don't have to keep calling. Just wait for somebody to hang up and you can call back. Because if you call and I'm already on a call, I'm going to send you the voicemail. Because it's just like ringing in my ear. It's kind of annoying. I can't pay attention to my caller. But if you call in, you just wait and you can call back once the last caller gets off, or you can keep calling, I guess, just to make sure you want to get on. It's up to you. Because I know that sometimes the phone lines do get busy. So that number is 202-596-5631. But yeah, in regards to that inoculation, we're students of history. I refer to, so when I look at information, is different types of information I want. So let's say you present me with, let's see, how would I put this? Let's say you present me with a piece of information. I want a piece of information that's left and right, top and bottom, right? So I want some information that's going to corroborate what you've said, because I want to affirm it. I do want to find more information to affirm what you said, because if you say something, there's no information to confirm what you said. Now I'm really looking at you. I'm like, hey, it's probably some BS. So I want some information to affirm, and it may be a plethora of information that affirms what you say, which could also lead to the fact that it's BS. Then I want to go to the right. I want to find some information that contradicts what you're saying, completely goes against what you're saying. All right. And I think that's the right thing to do. So I can do some compare and contrast. Then I want another piece of information that goes, well, the left is right and the right is right, but here's also what both sides have been missing, right? This is how I do my research. So when it comes to the inoculation, I do listen to the people that say this is a good idea. I want to hear what they have to say. Because even with the misinformation, you can still learn some information. You can still grab some information. So they say, oh, it's good for this, that's, that, and they talk about antibodies and antigens and pathogens and all types of things, right? Cool. I want to learn all that stuff. Absolutely, I want to learn all that stuff. Somebody called me last night. Oh, no, that's last week. Okay. Or did somebody just call and I missed it? I think somebody just called and I missed it. Hold on. I guess if I get off that screen, it doesn't ring. Is that what happens? Here, let me call him back. 570, call me back. I think that was you. Yeah, that was you. 570, call me back. I'm sorry, I missed your call here. Yeah, I just missed his call. But so yeah, I want to see that information. When it came to this inoculation, I saw the deposition of Stanley Plotkin. And to me, when I saw that, I was just like, yo. Shout out to my super chatters. Hotep Oz, he says, just putting some money on your books, Hotep and Bill. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for not grifting. David Ziantar, $5. Thank you. Appreciate you paying tuition today. On with Shahan. What up, bro? Make sure y'all check out the On with Shahan podcast. Very, very useful information over there. Very knowledgeable individual. Okay, here we go. You got a caller here. I'll read that in a second, Shahan. Yo, you're live with Hotep.
Oh, man. Hotep is ducking. To accept, press 1.
You're on the line. You're on the line with Hotep Jesus. Talk to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Controlled opposition. That's no such thing. Oh, you're a little bit, getting a little too crazy with it. Look, man, anytime some truth comes out, they gotta, let's put Kanye out there, gets close to the truth. Hey, let's always throw out. I'm just saying, man, start up the circus anytime any truth comes out, whether it's in regards to the jab, this, that, the third. The truth about this stuff coming out right now, it's all documented. It's supposed to come out. Okay, what's going to happen here is a complete any type of trust in government, anything is going to be absolved, and that's on purpose. Okay, we're in the revelation of the method period right here. All right, simple as that. Happens every 130 some years.
You ain't lie. You ain't lie. You ain't lie. You know what I think you're right about is you know, the distraction, right? The distraction economy where, hey, you know, focus on Kanye because we don't want you to see what's going on over here. Focus on Ye because we don't want you to see. And the lady was right. Whoever typed that out, they're like, yo, people are more mad at Kanye than the fact that governments, I can't even say governments, because even the governments throwing them some bail, just throwing them some bail for legal purposes, were lied to, or maybe deceived, or maybe paperwork, something got lost in the mix. But they were told by these corporations what these inoculations are supposed to do. And they provided information based upon the things given to them by the corporations. And as a result, many people did something that they probably should not have done. They took a huge health risk. We just saw the other day the Supreme Court said, yo, if you fired somebody for not getting the inoculation, you owe them back pay and you got to give them their job back.
Yep.
All this stuff is rolling out.
You know what, man? I think the last time I talked to you, I said I lost family, friends, this, that, the third. I was completely shitted on. I had people trying to tell me that my kids should be taken away, this, that, the third. My kids never get sick. We never have problems. Meanwhile, I'm rolling around here seeing nothing but fat, unhealthy, docile sheep that have no soul, no nothing. They see what they see on TV and they follow it like good little soldiers. I'm done with it, bro. I'm fucking done with it.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you. It's everything that comes out the box, you know. Lupe. Speaking of Lupe Fiasco.
I just listened to that. Oh my God, that was god awful. God bless you for fucking sitting there. I saw what you were doing. I picked what you were doing, but that guy, like Jesus, I can't even listen to him now.
Well, he has a song called The Box. And I think was this the first album? I want to say it's the first album. But, you know, he talks about how people mimic and mock the box, right? And the box seemed to be a metaphor, at least that's how I took it, to be the television, right? Or forms of media. And it's a very interesting piece of artwork that Lupe Fiasco put out there called The Box, because that's exactly the truth. You know, once it comes out to TV, people think that this is an authoritative source and it should be believed. It should be trusted. Mm-hmm. And anything come out the TV, I don't trust. I just don't trust it. That's just my own personal take. But,
so where, in your opinion, where is the disconnect, man? Because I don't understand how people, even if you aren't very intellectually sound or bright, how do you not, like, they make it so obvious. It's like the magician's trick. They need to show you what it is in order for their karmic, whatever the fuck, to work in their eyes. So I don't understand how people don't see it.
Yeah, so I talked about this with Uncle Hotep, and I said, you know why Uncle Hotep became Hotep? It's because of his father, right? His father one day sat him down and made him question. Watch your volume, bro. You got a lot of background noise. His father made him question the moon landing. And I think that's what needs to be instilled in people at an early age. And if it's not instilled, then they grow up thinking that everything that they've been taught should be believed. They're in a major bubble. Somebody has to burst that bubble at a young age. For me, that bubble was bursted at a very young age because of my father as well. Moon landing. I mean, my dad used to hand me shit that I probably shouldn't have been reading. Things that were in Behold the Pale Horse, I was privy to before I got a copy of Behold the Pale Horse, because Dad had all these banned books. My dad used to collect banned books, and I used to read them. So when people said things or things came out the media, I automatically was like, no, I can't trust you because you lied to us about this, and this. So these people that you're talking about have never had someone implant that in them at an early age. Instead, the blue pill is what they've been given. And that's what keeps them in that mindset trap.
Man, I'm just writing. I'm taking notes, Hotep. I'm writing everything down. All right, I'm gonna send you over my information. You said you're gonna adopt me, right? Is that what you just said?
I'm gonna what?
You said you're gonna adopt me? Isn't that what you said the last call? You said you want to bring me onto your show. We're gonna start you, me, Uncle Hotep. Is that what you said?
You funny. Yeah, maybe one day, you increase your profile and you prove to be a legitimate source of information and you don't get my channel banned, then maybe.
Hey, look, everything I said in the jump, that was all fictional. That was all hypothetical. And everybody knows that. Okay, Susan? Susan knows.
Some conversations are reserved for HotepCon. We're going to be selling tickets for HotepCon very soon. You guys come to HotepCon. We can have all the candid conversations you want in private and talk about, all the protocols that you want. Or if you guys want to hang out with us and you guys want to have a very candid conversation, so you can sign up, patreon.com/Hotep's Been Told You. This is where we have our second helping of Hotep's Been Told You every Monday. This is Hotep's Been Told You 2.0. And on this Saturday, once a month, we meet with our VIP subscribers and we have very candid conversations where they're open, honest, and blunt, not recorded, not streamed. And we can talk about, a lot of different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that and Rumble as well, right? Are those going to be...
And Rumble.
Are you a little bit more open on? Okay.
And Rumble. Yeah, we could do a little bit of talk on Rumble. But again, you got to understand that I'm not going to allow certain speech on Rumble either, because free speech ain't free anywhere except at HotepCon.
Okay.
Where the cameras are off, the microphones are off, the cell phones are in a Faraday cage. That's the only place where some of these things can be discussed. But on Rumble, there's certain speech I'm not going to allow there because it's still accessible by the public. And it could damage my earning potential. And y'all not about to take food out my family's mouth.
Understood. Hey, I apologize for the beginning of the call. I was a little bit wild at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
My apologies.
Oh, yeah. And that's also, that's basic bitch information, too, just to let you know.
Hey,
the protocols are based.
Listen.
That's basic bitch information. You're barely scratching the surface on that topic. You got to dig a little bit deeper if you want to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, that's basic bitch information. That's like introductory. That's some shit you give to a first grader when they want to learn about the J question. I'm just being honest.
Hey, brother, listen. Hey, that's not the. Hey.
You're better off
That's
reading
not all
like.
I know, brother, but
you're better off reading Henry Ford. If you want to be frank.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, bro. I gotta listen. For me, yeah, you know what? I couldn't agree more. For me, that's like giving little baby food. That's why I threw that out there. I just figured the other people that are listening in, they needed a little bit of baby food, and that's what I threw out there. So
yeah, and it's wholly inaccurate. Even if you read the protocols, it's wholly inaccurate. If you really want to learn about that shit, that's just stuff is not accurate at all. Shout out to Ryan McDonald for the super chat. Hey man, thank you for calling in, bro.
Thanks, brother.
All right, peace. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, this guy. What's going on with that? On with Shahan, he said, according to an unconfirmed source, Elon's taking Twitter off the New York Stock Exchange on Friday, taking the company private, and is also going to make the code open source. Does it make sense to fork Twitter? That's a loaded question. Does it make sense to fork Twitter? The question is, in regards to that, do you have a community? Because there's some people who, it's like starting a Discord, right? Like, you could start a Discord. Ain't nobody in it, right? Do you have a community? Hotep Nation has a Discord. If you donate to our homeschooling campaign on hotepnation.com, you get invited to the Discord. So Hotep Nation has a Discord, but we also have a community. So the question is, if you have a community, then maybe, forking Twitter is not a bad idea. To fork Twitter to compete with Twitter, I don't think that's a good idea, just because it's a lot of work, man. Once upon a time, I was very interested in investing in tech companies, and people would come to me and they would say, hey, I got a social media idea. And I'd be like, you know how you go to Shark Tank. And, you know, there's like, I'm out. Like, as soon as I hear the word social media, I'm just like, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I always hear people out because there's that 0.001% chance that they have a social media idea that's like truly amazing. And I told you about that earlier, where there's a kid who has one. He's that 0.001% person who has an amazing social media idea. When I saw it, I was just like, oh shit, somebody who finally gets it. But I've worked with social media companies like startups that were trying to compete in this space, Musical.ly competitors and other news aggregators, comedy, social networks, all types of social networks I worked at in the past. And that's why I'm just like very bearish on them, because I see the amount of work it goes into them. And it can be done. It can be done. It's just a certain methodology that has to be applied when working with, I got about 13 minutes left here. Calling number is 202-596-5631, 202-596-5631. But there's a certain methodology when it comes to social media. And the way I know that a social media company is going in the wrong direction is when they start gold plating. And I'll show you what that means. I'll bring it up on the screen. And this is the number one problem when it comes to software companies, period. Everybody makes this problem. I mean, everybody. I acquired stake in a social media company once upon a time. I think it was last year. No, it wasn't a social media company. It was just a software company, and they had a suite for C-level execs. And I'll bring this up on the screen in a second. After I acquired a bit of equity in the company, we started working together. And then I was like, at some point I recognized, I'm like, oh, you guys are gold plating. And they're like, what's gold plating? I'm like, I'll tell you what gold plating is. But this is the number one problem. So right here, you'll see, this is Wikipedia. It says, in time management, gold plating is a phenomenon of working on a project or a task past the point of diminishing returns, right? For example, after having met the requirements, the project manager or developer works on further enhancing the product, thinking the customer will be delighted to see additional or more polished features. Right? So there's a hypothesis, right? They go, oh, we need more features. I'm going to highlight that. So when I come back to it, I'm sure I will come back to it in the future, rather than what was asked for or expected. Right? This is a huge problem. Whenever I work with a social media company, if they choose the former over the latter, I'm like, I'm out. I got to walk out the door. I got to go. You're fucking idiots. It says the customer might be disappointed in the results and the extra effort by the developer might be futile. And this is a huge, huge problem. So for example, I was working on a piece of software. I was working with a software company last year, an Apple app. Hold on, let me go back. I'm sorry. The call-in lines are open. I wasn't on the screen. Whoever that was that called, you can call back. I'm sorry. Missed the call. But we were working on the app and they were like, oh, I have a great idea. I want to, add this new feature. And I'm like, but if we read the reviews are telling us the customers want X, Y, and Z. And they're like, oh no, we could worry about that later. Let's put out this new feature. I think it'll cause a lot of downloads. But that's not how product development is done. Product development is easy. It's easy. You know why? You let your customers design your product. And this is where software companies go wrong. This is where social media companies go wrong. I'm giving y'all like $1 million worth of game right now, because I know there's software people out there that's listening. Listen, this is where y'all go wrong. Y'all think your new feature is going to change the face of your company. It's not. You know what's going to change the face of your company? Doing the boring things, growing horizontally and not vertically. When you add a new feature, you're growing vertically. But it's like when you build a really tall building, but it's skinny. So now it's like, like a Jenga building. And it's like, this is what you're doing when you add new features. But when you build horizontally, right? And you build that bottom layer and you build it nice and wide. When you add the next layer, it's sturdy, it's firm, it's not going to fall, right? That's the visual representation of building a software company. You got to build horizontally. And that's listening to the consumer. The consumer says something like, hey, can you make the font bigger? And you're like, I kind of like the font. But they're all asking for the font to be bigger. You want to put out a whole new. And the funny thing is, the ROI is higher on the little thing that the customer asked for as opposed to the new feature you think that's going to be amazing and great. Because what the customer is asking for is probably like a 24-hour fix or a week-long fix. And your new feature is probably a 3-month development project, right? Do what the customer asked for. The customer said, yo, can you just do this little thing to make the app better? Can you make it faster, right? So maybe you just need to buy more servers, right? These are the things that are going to make your customers happy. These are the things going to make your software grow, not this new feature. And that's what a lot of people do. So to answer your question, Shahan, if you're gonna make a Twitter, build horizontally. Give people that are a part of your community what they want instead of, what you think they want. Just guesswork. Huge problem. Who is that? Why do I keep missing these calls? Can you call back? I'm sorry. For some reason, it's like. It's not ringing when I'm not on the screen. Really, really odd. Call back one more time, caller. I'm sorry. But yeah, I like I said, I would say, I built my first website in 1996. I was repairing computers, building computers in 1996. I built my first professional website. This guy was selling coins. So I was my first client. That was 1998. And then I moved into the mortgage industry. It was funny because I was in the mortgage industry. Oh, here's the caller right here.
Call from
Sketch service.
Sketch, you on with Hotep Jesus? What's up, man? Talk to me.
It's Sketch. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I was thinking about the art stuff and the media stuff and the bots. Now, I was fortunate enough to catch a piece on InfoWars at Hotep Jesus talking to an artist about how that's all very locked down, that they got these people, that they got to have a certain agenda, a certain way of thinking to even get in there.
That's Arthur Quan Lee you're referring to. Arthur Quan Lee, yep.
Yes, it was wonderful interview. I really enjoyed it. Very professional. You did a great job over there.
Thank you.
And that's also what's happening all over, these TV shows like what you just talking about, Disney. When they did this thing with She-Hulk, they could have taken Cardi B and given her like a character, right? Make her a superhero, a character, but they referenced her by name. So that if the kids look for her character, they're not going to find a superhero. They're not going to find a hero arc. The arc they're going to find is Cardi B's arc. And do you remember where Cardi B's arc started?
Inform the people.
Right. It was like in a strip club, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So this is what they're targeting, according to them, for 14-year-olds. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's kind of like they're going into the mind and they're programming these kids and they got all these kind of thoughts and it's unhealthy, not just in the weight way, like in a whole bunch of ways. And I just wanted to touch on that and say that I really liked that interview. That was nice.
Thank you.
That
Thank you.
piece on the art world. It was a great job.
Thank you. Yeah. That was the interview. I took over InfoWars for 2 hours for Alex Jones. He was on vacation, I believe, this week or stepped away for a week or so. I'm not sure what happened. But yeah, I stepped in for him for about 2 hours, covered his show. And we had Eliza Blue on and we talked about.
I remember her. She's great.
Yeah.
And she would probably agree with what I'm saying, that that's a bad arc to follow.
Right. Absolutely. And then I had Arthur Quan Lee on, who I just felt like was perfect for the InfoWars platform. In fact, my homie JB put me in touch with Arthur, and he was supposed to come on my platform, but because my platform was in lockdown, I couldn't. I had to wait. But when I had the InfoWars opportunity pop up, I said, oh, let me interview you there because that's a really good place for you to be seen. And it was very interesting. Some great things have happened for Arthur since that interview. He's been connected with a lot of good people. A lot of people are sharing his interview. And I think you're going to see a lot more from that guy. But he will be on my channel. We will have a discussion. We're going to have a Rumble exclusive channel conversation, and we'll have a YouTube conversation. So we can be a little bit more candid.
Have a little backup, a little place where you can speak on other stuff,
Yeah.
100%.
Hotep Jesus Uncensored. Follow me on Rumble for all my uncensored content, where we're going to just be using all types of language that YouTube or content that YouTube would probably discourage. We're going to have those conversations on Rumble. So go find me on Rumble, Hotep Jesus. Hey, Sketch, man, I appreciate you for calling in, bro.
Oh, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be of service.
No doubt, Hotep and Bill. Joe Music said, Hotep Jesus, did you see that article? White people are being more affected by COVID now? Really? Is that what they're saying? No way. No way, really? I didn't see that. Somebody share that with me on Twitter or something. Tag me in that. Let me take a look at that. Javier, how would you translate that mindset to government? That's a really good question. The mindset of not gold plating. It's a really good question. I think it's definitely possible to have that mindset translated over. And we technically don't do that now. We don't listen to the people and say, hey, here's what we really need. And also because the conversation is, it's not democratized at all. Because if it was, the majority would be listened to. The majority would say no to inoculations. This is the last caller here I'll take in.
Call from
Taylor Madden.
Hotep to my boy Taylor. What up, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Talk to me, man.
All right. So I wanted to bring two pieces of information to light that on the PayPal incident. Just to the forefront. One reported by James Lindsay and one reported by Tim Pool. So Tim Pool said that, and he stopped talking about this, so I don't know if this was retracted, but he said that language was in there since 2019, that $250 or $2,500 fine has been in there since 2019, and they just updated it and they got the backlash. And so they kind of unupdated it. Now, I'm not sure about that being 100% true, but I do want to go over to James Lindsay, who is saying that this is, PayPal's kind of willing slaves a little bit in the fact that this is a fine that they get via ESGs when they're promoting misinformation as the global elites see it. This is the fine that they will receive. So to kind of counteract that, to let less of that happen, they're implementing this to the end users, and obviously they faced a major backlash publicly. So they're, I'm not saying PayPal is good at all. I'm just saying that their hands a little bit forced as well.
Yeah, I saw that in the legal language, but also in the legal language, I think this only pertains to PayPal services and transactions. It doesn't say if Taylor goes on Twitter and he says something about trans people that his account is going to be docked 2,500. It's only if he does transactions related to that type of behavior, right?
Yeah, I think that's correct. But yeah, the long story short is that a lot of these people got in bed with the devil to get investments with the World Economic Forum type people and the ESG type people. They got in bed with the devil, and now they can throw up their hands and say things like, "Oh, it wasn't me, it's them." Some of them do. Disney says those type of things. Governments say those type of things, and some of them don't. Would rather take the hit, their own reputation, like I think PayPal's doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Nah, I totally agree. And I do see that their hand sometimes is forced. Hey, man, appreciate you for calling in, man. We got to chat soon, man.
For sure. All right.
Follow me on Rumble.
I already do.
My guy. That's my producer, Taylor Madden. He, my handler, or one of my handlers. And he told me, he's like, you got to get on Rumble. You got to get on Rumble. And I'm like, I'm holding out. Got to get on Rumble. Got to get on Rumble. My dumb ass never did. But I'm there now. Shout out to Taylor. He's a really good guy. I appreciate him. I need to listen to him more. Usually I just, I always listen to him. But in that case, I was just being very, very stubborn. And yeah, so now I'm on Rumble. Make sure you guys subscribe to my Rumble channel. But yeah, as far as government is concerned, how does that translate into government? I think it could, but there's different types of opinions. There's a qualified opinion, and there's an unqualified opinion. Qualified opinions are people who have actually studied this information, but studied this information and scrutinized it from both sides. I think what we're getting is a one-sided argument for many government decisions. So the problem of poverty is only looked at from a socialist point of view and not a capitalist point of view. So we need to take point of views into consideration and have more public debate. The problem is we're not allowed to have that public debate to help people come to a good educated solution, because most people, when they hear capitalism, they think bad. They never think of capitalism as a solution for poverty. They think of it as the cause of poverty, when in actuality, socialism is the problem, is the thing that exasperates the problem. And we'll talk about that more at a later date. Subscribe to my channel here. Subscribe to me on Rumble. I am that Hotep Jesus dude. I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Hotep and Bill.